Good morning, students. So welcome back. So last time we have talked about the parallel lines and the transversal and angles formed by the transversal. Now today we are going to study about circle, circular region, segment, arc and properties of circle. So today we are going to study the theoretical part, and in my next video we will go for the exercises. So what is a circle? Circle is nothing but a set of points which are located at a definite distance from a fixed point or from a given point. Set of points. Now this is a set of points. Infinite points are there. This is a set of points which are located at a fixed distance. The distance from a given point or from a fixed point. So this is a given point or a fixed point. From this set of points, they are located at a fixed distance. That set of points is called as the circle. Okay. Now this point, which is we call it as the fixed point, is called as the center of the circle. Okay. Now suppose if I join this center of the circle to any point on the circle, so we get a segment. So this segment we call it as the radius and we denote it by small r. Okay. So the segment joining the center of the circle and any point on the circle is called as the radius of the circle. On the other hand, a segment joining any 2 points on the circle is called as the chord. So this is chord. A segment joining any 2 points on the circle is called as the chord. Next, a segment which passes through center of the circle and joins any 2 points on the circle is called as the diameter of the circle. Okay. So here AB is the diameter, AC is the chord and OD is the radius. Okay. Now see, a segment joining any 2 points on the circle passing through the center is called as the diameter of the circle. One more thing. Again, it joins any 2 points, so it is also chord. And mind it, chord diameter is the longest chord. Diameter is the longest chord of the circle. And there is a relation between the radius and the diameter. What it is? Exactly. Diameter is 2 times of the radius. That is, diameter is equal to 2 into radius. Or radius is half of diameter. Okay. Now, next we will come to the next point, that is circular region. Circular region is nothing but the points on the circle and in the interior of the circle together constitute the circular region. So this is total is the circular region. Okay. And this circular region, depending upon the points on the circle, it can be divided into 2 parts. Okay. So for example, suppose if I consider any 2 points AB. So AB, these 2 points, they divide this circular region. This circular arc, that is called as circular arc. Okay. They divide this circle into 2 parts. Arc AB and arc AB. Now confusion. Both sides it is arc and arc AB. So which side we are telling or referring? Is it this or is it this? So for that we take a third point and we label it like this, X, and this is Y. So now this is the smaller arc, arc AXB. So when I refer AXB, it is this. and when I refer AYB, it is this. Okay, now this is the smaller arc, hence it is called as minor arc. What it is called? Minor arc. And this is called as the major arc. This is called as the major arc. Okay, now if we draw a chord, suppose chord also divides the circular region. Now chord divides the circular region into two parts. This is this part which includes the chord and the minor arc. The region formed by the chord and the minor arc, that is called as the segment. What it is called? Segment. And this is minor segment, this is major segment. This is minor segment and this is major segment. Okay. Now, if diameter is there, diameter divides the circular region into two equal parts. Each is called as the semicircular region. Each is called as the semicircular region. Or these are semicircular arcs. These are called semicircular arcs. Okay. Now, angular measure of circle is how much? Oh yes, 360 degree. So, angular measure of semicircle is 180 degree. Angular measure of semicircle is 180 degree. Okay. Now, let's move to the next part. Now, let us calculate how to measure the arc, measure of an arc. Okay. So, suppose measure of this arc AXB is equivalent to measure of this angle AOB. Measure of arc, minor arc AXB is equal to measure of angle AOB. Okay. So, how to get measure of major arc? Definitely, measure of arc AYB will be equal to 360 degree minus measure angle, measure of arc AXB. Okay. Measure of arc AYB is equal to 360 degree minus measure of arc AXB. So in that way we can get the angular measure of the arc. Okay. Now next point we are going to study is central angle. Actually we have drawn the figure here, just I am going to draw it again. The angle whose vertex is at the center. What I said? The angle whose vertex is at the center is called as the central angle. So this is the central angle, okay? And it intercepts this arc AXC. This is called as intercepted arc, okay? And as we have said, the measure of arc measure of arc AXC is always equal to measure angle, central angle ABC. Okay. Now, suppose if I draw another angle here. Now see the magic what happens. Suppose here D. So, here angle ADC. What type of angle it is? It is inscribed angle. I have purposely shown these two angles at a time. The reason is you are able to identify the central angle as well as the inscribed angle. Now this is inscribed angle. So what is an inscribed angle? Inscribed angle is the angle whose vertex is on the circle, as well as the endpoints of the two arms, arm AD and arm DC, you can see here, they are also on the circle. Okay, and Such type of angle is called as the inscribed angle. What it is called? Inscribed angle. And the speciality of inscribed angle is measure of angle ADC is half of measure of arc AXC. Now again, this is the intercepted arc for angle ADC. Okay, intercepted arc. The spelling is INTERCEPTED, intercepted arc. So arc AXC is intercepted by angle ADC. Okay, so measure angle ADC is equal to half of measure of arc AXC. Now we know that measure of arc AXC is equal to measure angle ABC. So from this what we can say, measure angle ADC should be equal to half of measure of angle ABC. That is the speciality. Okay, so if this is 100 degree, this has to be 50 degree, and it comes. You draw the figure, you draw actual circle, and draw the such types of angles. You will get the relationship. Okay, and so that is what followed. So this is inscribed angle, this is central angle, this is the intercepted arc. Okay, now next part, suppose this is the diameter. Again, what type of angle it is? Yes, inscribed angle. Okay, so measure of this angle is always 90 degree. Why? Because see, measure of semicircular arc is how much? Now only I have said 180 degree. So this angle is half of this. So if this is 180, this has to be 90 degree. In other words, how we say? Angle subtended by the semicircular arc is always a right angle. Subtended means which forms. So this is the arc which subtends this angle. So angle subtended by the semicircular arc is always a right angle. Second, angle subtended by the diameter is always a right angle. And third, angle inscribed. This angle is inscribed in this arc. So angle inscribed in a semicircle is always a right angle. Always. All these three, they are same, one and the same. Okay? Only three different wordings. What it is? Angle subtended by a semicircular arc is always a right angle. Angle subtended by the diameter is always a right angle. And angle inscribed in a semicircle is always a right angle. Okay? Now, so next part, cyclic quadrilateral. So what is the cyclic quadrilateral? The quadrilateral whose all vertices are on the circle is called as the cyclic quadrilateral. For example here, A, B, C, D. It should be like this, A, B, C, D. So quadrilateral A, B, C, D. In this, all these vertices, they are on the circle. Hence it is cyclic quadrilateral. What is the speciality of this? Opposite angles are supplementary. So measure angle A plus measure angle C should be equal to 180 degree. And measure angle B plus measure angle D also is equal to 180 degree. One more property. Keep this in mind. If I extend this, so measure of angle A should be always equal to measure of angle, suppose this is BCE. This is exterior angle. This is called as exterior angle property of cyclic quadrilateral. Remember this, that the exterior angle of a cyclic quadrilateral is always equal to its remote interior opposite angle. Okay, so that is called as exterior angle cyclic property. So measure angle BC will be always equal to angle A, measure of angle A. Or suppose if I draw it here, so this angle should be equal to this angle D. You can try it everywhere. Okay, so that is called as exterior angle property. Next is circumference. Circumference of circle. So what it is circumference? The length of the boundary of the circle is called as the circumference, or in other words, perimeter. Now here in circle we call it as circumference. And how we give circumference? Yes, C is equal to 2 pi r. You know that formula. Or C is equal to pi d. Pi into diameter. Okay. So these are the two formulas which are used to find out circumference. Then area of the circle. The area of circular region of the circle can be given by this formula pi r square. Okay. So these are the two formulas. Now next we can go for properties of the chords. Okay. Now suppose this is center of the circle and this is chord AB. So how to measure the distance between the chord AB and center O? So for that we can draw a perpendicular segment from the center of the circle on the chord AB. Okay, so this is the perpendicular segment. Now suppose this distance, this point is C. So segment OC gives me the distance of the chord from the center of the circle. But when I draw this perpendicular, I get some other interesting properties. That is, when I draw this perpendicular on the chord from the center of the circle, it bisects the chord. So this is first property, that the perpendicular drawn from the center of the circle to the chord bisects the chord. So you will get AC equals to BC. Now suppose if I join this, I get what type of triangle? Yes, it is right angle triangle. So if I know this length, I can find radius of the circle. This is what? Radius of the circle, right? One more thing. If I know radius, if I know distance of the chord from the center of the circle, I can find the length of the chord, because I get this, I can double it, I get the length of the chord. Do you get it? Or suppose this is given, radius is given, I can find at what distance is the chord from the center of the circle by finding out this. So perpendicular drawn from the center of the circle on the chord bisects the chord. Okay. Then one more thing. Congruent chords are always equidistant. So what it means, that suppose AB, chord AB and chord CD are the two chords which are congruent. So if suppose this is 5 centimeter and if suppose this is 5 centimeter, then the distance from the center of the circle, suppose this is center of the circle, then this distance, suppose this is E and this is F, then segment OE should be congruent to segment OF. That is, the distance from the center of the circle is always same. Do you get it? So what it is? Congruent chords are always at equal distance from the center of the circle. One more property. Congruent chords subtend. So I will work this. Okay. Congruent chords subtend congruent angles at the center of the circle. So this angle and this angle, they both are congruent. That is another property of the chords. That is, congruent chords subtend congruent angles at the center of the circle. Or in other words, the angles formed by the congruent chords at the center of the circle are always congruent. You can try this. You draw this actual figure and measure the angles. You will get that properties. Okay. Now, next part. That is arcs formed in minor segment and major segment. So this is minor segment. What type of angles are formed? See, they are obtuse. So angles in minor segment, they are always obtuse angles. And angles in the major segment, you can see them. They are always what type of angles? Oh yes, they are always acute angles. You can see they are always acute angles. One more thing, angles in the same segment are always congruent. So you can see here, the measure of these angles is always going to be same because their end points are same. Okay, so angles in the same segment, they are always congruent. Same here, you can see these are the angles in the same segment. So the measurement is always going to be congruent. Okay, so this is what are the properties of chords of a circle. So these are some interesting facts of the circle. So dear students, I hope you will go through this and you will understand the concepts. Now these are required in 9th and 10th also. So try to understand them properly. Okay. And examples based on that, we will try to solve them in next video. So till then, goodbye. Thank you.